Hey, somebody needs to set the alarm. You have? Excellent. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You are listening to The Professional Noticer. Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Andrews. Hey, thank you for making me a part of your week. My purpose here today and with every show we do is to play the part of a best friend or a coach. I want to help you live the life of your wildest dreams by giving you access to the greatest mentors the world has to offer today. The Professional Noticer is sponsored this week by our friends at Tucker ATV. You know, the sheer variety of power sport products at Tucker ATV will just blow your mind. The Hustler turf equipment, the entire line of Echo power tools, and of course, Tucker ATV carries every make and model of Polaris ATVs. They have the big Polaris side-by-sides and the even bigger Ranger Crew. You just have to see this place. You have to see the showroom. Taxidermy, antique displays, and an indoor porch with porch swing, recliners, and television, big flat screen television, and free coffee. So stop in and meet Shannon and Lisa Tucker. They treat customers like family, which is why folks from 14 states have done business with Tucker ATV. Highway 43 North in Jackson, Alabama. Tucker ATV, the small town business with the national reputation. Observations and answers, that's what we do here on The Professional Noticer. And as you know, we love it when somebody comes to the table with both. We have that today. We have somebody that I have wanted to have on this show for a long time. And I hate to tell him how long I have been watching him and aware of him, but this guy was one of my favorite Alabama football players of all time, an All-American cornerback from Alabama. He played with the Buccaneers and the Broncos in the NFL, played in the Super Bowl. I mean, just played in the last game Bear Bryant ever coached. I mean, just unbelievable. Please welcome Jeremiah Castille. Jeremiah, how are you?
Thank you. I'm excellent, sir. Doing well on this beautiful day. Good August day.
You were the last of a breed at Alabama because you were on that last team that Coach Bryant did.
Coach Bryant last 4 years was my 4 years there. So I was there the last 4 years, last game, 3-15 game, just some milestones. That's really probably the greatest one is the 3-15 game, breaking Alonzo Stagg's record in 1981, and then playing in the Liberty Bowl and being the Liberty Bowl MVP of that game. So I was MVP of Coach Bryant's last game.
Didn't you? Which game did you intercept 3 passes in? Was that Liberty Bowl?
That was Liberty Bowl, yes, sir.
And that was the one you were the MVP in that Liberty Bowl game.
Yes, sir.
Good grief. And you were there for like 2 national championships.
One? 79. Coach Bryant last one. That's
right. I was there 78 and 79. So you were a freshman when Stedman Shealy was
a senior.
A senior, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I'm getting enough of this out now so people know that I have followed you for a long time. But what is a memory that you have of Coach Bryant that you like to share with people? Every time I've ever talked with a player who played with him, they have stories about him.
Well, this month is 45 years ago. I was a freshman.
Wow. And
the month of August is your tour days. It's camp. And I like to tell the story of I was a 5'9", 155-pound freshman. So basically undersized, wasn't big enough for most people in SEC or any major college to want to give a scholarship to. Coach Bryant took a chance on me. And so we got in about 2 weeks into camp in that August. And so I come in from the two-a-day practice, and on my locker was, if you can remember back in the day, they had those little pink sticky notes about that, yay big.
Right.
And there was one on my locker, and it said, Coach Bryant want to see you.
Ooh.
And I'm like, well, I don't want to see him. Yeah, I'm all kind of fear and man, what have I done? All kind of negative thoughts. I go up to his office on second, third floor, Coleman Coliseum anyway. And Secretary Linda Noe was sitting there. She said, he'll be with you in a minute. It was a long minute. Door opens up. She said, you can go on in. When I walk in, and Coach Bryant's smoking a Chesterfield cigarette, and he's puffing
unfiltered.
I just got a Kodak moment of that, and it's those cigarettes that didn't have a filter on them. So he was tobacco, and he put it in the ashtray, and he murmured some words. You had to listen to him real. He had that old Southern drawl. You had to listen to Coach Bryant real close, and he murmured some words. Go sit on the couch. He had a black and white checkered couch in his office. It's in the Bryant Museum today if you ever go in there and want to see it. Well, that couch didn't have any legs on it. So when you sat down, you basically was almost on the floor looking up at him. Everybody came in, that's where you sat. And he murmured, his first words, he said, you can play here at the University of Alabama. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to play when my turn comes. I was behind Don McNeil. He was an All-American, 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", 195-pound corner from Atmore, Alabama.
He went to the NFL.
A great player.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I'm going to play when my turn comes. His next words were, you could play this year. And if I'm talking to a big group of people, I say, and boy, did I. Because when he spoke those words, my confidence went to another stratosphere. I tell people I walked in the room 5'9" and walked out 6'9". And so what Coach Bryant was telling me was he was going to pull me up to the varsity. I wasn't going to play freshman ball. And so I didn't play freshman ball as a true freshman. And I led it on that 79 national championship team. Matter of fact, if you go look at that season, the last game against Auburn, regular season, because of what Coach Bryant said that day, I made a game-saving tackle in the fourth quarter, the Iron Bowl, that helped win the game for us. And I'm getting ready to head out of his office from that little 10-minute talk. And he said, you see that door right there? He said, that door, you ever have a problem, that door is always open. Don't hesitate to knock on it. I tell that story because it gives just everyday, ordinary people insight as to the type of person Coach Bryant was as a coach, what type of person he was, how he really cared about each and every individual player. And he took the time out to talk with us. And so when that 10-minute talk for me took Jeremiah Castille confidence level to where I went on and had a great career because of the confidence and the encouragement that he gave me.
Wow. Now, did you, I can't remember, did you grow any or did you play in the NFL as a 5'9" guy?
I put on in 4 years about 15 pounds. So I got to about 170 in the NFL.
Golly.
Yeah, I played it. I'd report to camp at about 165-ish, somewhere in there. I was a track guy, really, playing football. I was a track guy in high school.
And then two of your sons, all three of your sons played at Alabama, but two of your sons went on to be in the NFL. And one of your sons, Caleb, who I've met a couple of times, Caleb starred in one of my favorite movies, which is Woodlawn. I just love that movie. And
to me, I have to say amen to that because it's one of my favorite, not because Caleb's my son starring, but just It's just a great movie.
Yeah, it really is. I tell you something, I don't know if this is interesting or not. It's something I like to tell when I talk to people about that movie. And that is that when Tony Nathan and Jeff Rutledge were in their senior year at Banks and Woodlawn, which is portrayed in that movie, I was in the 10th grade across town at Berry High School. And I had, in the 9th grade, gotten to really following Tony Nathan. And this was before the internet. And so, the high school games on Friday night, and I would get that Saturday paper and find out how Woodlawn did. And so then going into the senior year, I was really into Tony Nathan, and so when they ended up undefeated and Banks with Jeff Rutledge ended up undefeated, and they were facing against each other in that last game of the year, and they were going to put it in the Legion Field, I talked my dad into taking me down there. And I was at that game. But we were one of the 40,000 people trying to get in that one gate they had opened for a high school football game. And I remember my dad putting my sister up on his shoulders, and that's as close as I've ever been to like a crazy crush. But, all those people there for a high school football game. But when I saw they put that in that movie, I was like, I was there.
Yeah, you said Berry High School. You made me think I played Berry. We played Berry in my senior year. Actually, that would have been the 78 season. We came up here and they beat us. Central High School in Phoenix City. They beat us in the playoffs.
What high school did you go to?
Central Phoenix City.
Okay, all right, Phoenix City.
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Berry beat us that year. Yeah.
Good grief! And so, you have always been. You and Stedman Shealy have stayed in my mind as character people who made a massive difference, who continue to make a difference after your football days. You travel, you speak, you're an evangelist, and I've heard you speak, and you have been given a gift to communicate, and you do that well. You were one of the pallbearers at Coach Bryant's funeral, and that's
my greatest honor.
Yeah,
that's the greatest honor I've ever received, is getting a call from Miss Mary Harmon Bryant that she wanted me to be one of the 8 guys to carry the remains of Coach Bryant. That's my greatest honor.
Wow. Who were the other guys? Do you remember, Jeremiah?
Gerald Sprinkle, Tommy Wilcox, Walter Lewis, Paul Caruth, just really the leaders on in that 82 season. So those were some of the guys just right off the top of my head I can remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So what does your days look like now? Where are you traveling
Andrew,
to?
I am entering my 23rd season as the chaplain for the University of Alabama football program. This is my 23rd season. So I, like this morning, I would have been at practice, but I had a funeral yesterday. I had a sibling that passed, so we had to go out of town and bury them. But Coach DeBoer came on, and in January he called me. We met with him, and I was there 5 seasons before Coach Saban got there, and so I've been there the entire tenure of Coach Saban, and we were able to serve him as chaplain, work with our football players, and just really help mentor and disciple them. That is something that I received when I was at Alabama under Campus Crusade for Christ. So when the opportunity came back in 2001, 2002, I took advantage of it, and I just I love doing it, and I don't know how long I'll be doing it, but this will be my 23rd season.
Wow. Well,
I've got it.
I met your son Caleb on the practice field one afternoon. I was up there, and my boys were with me, and that's where I first became aware of Caleb. And just great guy, and just kind of kept up after him and kept up with him, and then he ends up in that movie, and I'm like, good grief,
Real quick, the story on that is when Caleb was coming out of high school, he had scholarship offers to different schools, and as we sat down and talked about it, me as a father, I'd been at Alabama for several years, and Coach Saban was there. This was like 2010. I said, so, in making your decision, you want to make your decision based on where's the best leadership you can receive. See, that's what I got at Alabama, was great leadership. My Coach Bryant powerfully impacted my life, and is still impacted. There's probably not a day go by where I don't hear his voice. That's how powerful it has been. And so I philosophically, I live by the things I learned as an 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old there at the University of Alabama. Coach Bryant's philosophy, I treasured then, and I still treasure today. And so when my son he was looking to come out and where he was going to go to college, I had experienced great leadership. I said, well, you want to go where there's great leadership. And I said, I can't think of a better place than Alabama under Coach Nick Saban. And I had been with Coach Saban had been, I think, for about 3 years. My son Simeon had been under his for 1 year. And so we decided Caleb would walk on instead of accepting scholarships from other schools. So I told him, I said, man, I'll pay for great leadership. So that's what we did. And Caleb walked on for 3 years, and he will tell you today that those 3 years is what prepared him for the movie industry.
Wow.
Not knowing that 3 years out of being there at Bama, he was a part of 2 of those national championship teams, that he had a desire to become an actor, to be in movies. And the Woodlawn movie was his first movie ever. No experience, and he was the lead person.
The lead. He was the star in the whole thing. And I thought he was incredible, just incredible.
Well, he has a gift there that we didn't know about. I didn't know about it. He called me going into his senior year. He called me and he says, Dad, I'm not going to play this year. He says, my dream is to be an actor. Now, when he was telling me this, and I'm like, when I'm telling the story, I started loading my gun and getting in my car, because I'm fit to come down there and kill you, boy. Where's this? You gonna be an actor? We don't have any artists in the Castille house. We're athletes, man. We ain't artists. So I'm gearing up. I'm loading my gun. What I'm talking about is I'm just listening. I'm gonna wear him out. Once I be courteous and listen to him. And he says, being an actor is my dream. When he said that, Andrew, God disarmed me, is what I like to say. And what the Lord did, he took me back to when I was middle school. I told my dad my dream was to be a pro football player. And my dad looked at me like, you crazy, boy. You're going to get you a job, and that's what you're going to do. You're going to learn how to work. And so he didn't support me. And so I went through middle school and high school and college, and my dad really didn't come to my games. And I made a note of that as a going through, young man, young teenager. And I made a note that whenever my children told me what their dream was, I would support them.
Wow.
I don't care what it was. And so, man, God disarmed me, and I said, okay, son, we're going to help you in whichever way I can help you. And we helped him pursue that.
That is amazing, and amazing how God dealt with you on that. I can imagine now how my parents told them when I told them I was going to be a comedian. So it's like, you're a what? A what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, what do you see now? What are you looking at? What are you looking to change? What are you looking to shift? What are you looking to focus in on for these young men?
I believe in being an impact player. I learned that from Coach Bryant. Coach Bryant puts you in a game. You better have an impact. And he had a way of teaching you that by putting you in a scrimmage, and you don't come out till you make a play. So you can be in a scrimmage a long time if you don't make. Literally, I'm telling you that you can go out to scrimmage, and man, you may get 4 or 5 games worth of scrimmage. You don't make a play, you still in there. So what I learned early on was, when we scrimmage, I'm making a play real quick in this scrimmage. I'm coming up, I'm hitting somebody, I'm knocking a pass down, I'm getting his attention. And so my parallel to that is life, and what God's called me to do with the next generation is to have an impact on the next generation. So I'm excited about that now. I've done that for the last 23, 22 years at the University of Alabama. And things like, 2 years ago, I got a chance to baptize Bryce Young there right before our season as chaplain. So I've had a chance to pour into the lives of a lot of the players that are playing now in the NFL. Tua Tagovailoa, Bryce Young, Mika Fitzpatrick. I can go Jonathan Allen. It's really been humbling for me that God would allow me through Coach Saban to serve the team and to have an impact and mentor and disciple these young men. And so I'm about just having an impact. That's what I see. Continue to have an impact. And Coach Bryant was that way. That 10-minute talk impacted me. And he told me I could play. And, it raised my confidence levels. He believed in me. So we can have an impact and athletes have a unique platform. We have a unique platform as an athlete. I want these guys to know, hey, man, God's given you a gift athletically so that he may be glorified. Use it in that manner. When you do, then you'll steward the gift properly. That's what I was taught at Alabama. So that's what we're still excited about, working with young men, and it just being around them keeps you young. It keeps me young, man, because they're fired up about their dreams and what they want to do, whether it be going on to the next level or graduating there from the university academically. So, man, it keeps me young. It keeps me going. And we also have a project we're working on in Woodlawn. Actually, in Woodlawn, we bought property there. We hopefully within the next 18, 24 months, we'll have a Woodlawn Leadership Academy up there on First Avenue North.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Also, I need to come back on your show next year. Sometimes maybe after the season, we are completing a book called Between Two Legends.
Okay. All right.
The book is my life as a player under Coach Bryant and my life as a chaplain under Coach Saban.
Man, that sounds awesome. And yeah, you got an official invitation to come on and we'll sell that book.
Yes, sir. So that's what we have completed writing. The date for it to come out will be August of 2025.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we'll get you on our calendar right now.
Yes, sir.
Man, thank you.
We've enjoyed writing the book. There's some great stories in that book on what makes it relevant today as Coach Saban. And for people that are, middle agers that remember Coach Bryant, it's my relationship with Coach Bryant and some stories about him.
I can't wait to read it. I can't wait to read it. So, buddy, thank you for being with us today. And give my love to your family, and anything I can do to help you with the Leadership Academy or any part of what you do, just give me a call.
Brother, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. I'm gonna hold you to that now.
Okay, you're buddies with my assistant Sandy. She just loves you, and you got my ear and my hands, and so anytime you need anything, just let us know.
All right. Thank you, sir. God bless.
All right. Thank you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
I'm Andy Andrews, the professional noticer, harnessing common sense and wisdom to plow through challenges all the way to an answer for you. And I think that'll do it for this week. Get us out of here, Matthew. So, ladies and gentlemen, and to the boys and girls who aspire to become ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of another episode of The Professional Noticer. In a world where common sense has become a superpower, I'm harnessing that tiny bit of mental energy I have for you, seeking wisdom, making observations, and endeavoring to answer tough questions that will empower your family and your business. I'm Andy Andrews. Until next week, goodbye. This episode of The Professional Noticer was produced by Matt Limpert. The Noticer theme written and performed by Sugarcane Jane. Spark plugs for the cast and crew provided by Twinkle and Smoke of Beverly Hills. Additional financial consideration provided by GideonsComicBooks.com. Do you know how many Bibles the Gideons have placed in American hotel rooms through the years? The exact number is a lot. Today, frankly, the Gideon Bible warehouses are overstocked. We have enough Bibles in storage to furnish new hotel construction for the next 30 years. That's why the Gideons are expanding. We're now placing comic books at daycares across the country. If American children are going to get ahead in today's world, they need to know how to read. And who better to teach young children to read than Archie, Veronica, and Casper the Friendly Ghost? GideonsComicBooks.com needs your contributions, not just to purchase comics, but to emboss each one in gold with the words, "This comic book has been provided for you by the Gideons." Log on now to help. We are GideonsComicBooks.com.